One of Donald Trump's biggest campaign promises was getting tough on immigration, and he wants to do that by building a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. But we're more than 2 years into Trump's presidency, and there's still no wall. Now it looks like Trump is willing to let the government shut down in order to deliver on his promise. But would a wall really help with border security? And why does Trump want one so bad? Let's find out. Hello and welcome to DC Direct. I'm Lionel Donovan. Here in this show, we'll break down some of the big issues in the U.S. political landscape, but we want you to weigh in. So feel free to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at TRT World. And use the hashtag DC Direct and reach out to us and let us know what you think. In today's show, we'll be talking about Trump's quest to build the wall. Throughout his campaign and presidency, Trump has promised a tough stance on immigration and border security. That promise has turned into the call for a wall to be built along the border between the United States and Mexico.
I will build a great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
Trump has also insisted that not only will a wall keep the U.S. safe, but that Mexico would pay for it. But how much does a project like this cost? Let's take a look at some numbers. The border between the United States and Mexico is around 3,100 kilometers long. It crosses over mountains and through deserts and is one of the most frequently crossed borders in the world. So far, about 1,050 kilometers of the border has some sort of border protection. Trump wants a wall that would be about 1,850 kilometers long, 12 meters high, 3 meters deep into the ground, and about 1/3 of a meter thick. Putting something like that together isn't cheap. Accounting for materials, labor, and buying the land itself, Trump's wall carries a price tag of around $25 billion. So why is Trump pushing for a project that's so expensive? We sat down with Hans von Spakovsky at the Heritage Foundation to see why some think a wall is needed.
Look, I think this has come to a head because we actually do have a crisis going on the southern border. You know, the migrant caravans that are headed through Mexico to Texas and all the other states show that there are literally tens of thousands of aliens who want to get across the border illegally. There are photographs out there of parts of the wall that they have built in Southern California between San Diego and Tijuana, and it's very clear that that has actually been effective in stopping illegal crossing of the border. Is that the only way you do that? No. You need increased patrols by the Border Patrol. You need electronic surveillance. But in some places, El Paso, San Diego, and others, you do need one to slow down illegal crossing of the border.
Things between Republicans and Democrats seem to get even worse this week when a meeting between Donald Trump and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi got heated. Trump said he'd be prepared to kick things up a notch if Congress didn't give him what he wanted.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wall. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said it.
Okay, you want to put that on my...
You've said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck.
We headed up to the Capitol to meet Camilia Dechalus, a reporter on Homeland Security, who talked us through why some are resistant to the idea of a wall.
A lot of people argue that it's ineffective, that it's actually inhumane. A lot of immigration experts and a lot of House Democrats have been arguing that there's no need for a wall. You know, we saw this past November that at border apprehensions at the border was about more than 62,000, and that has been the highest monthly total under Trump's whole presidency.
In last month's midterms, the balance of power in the House of Representatives shifted over to the Democrats, which means change is coming to D.C. starting next year. But Trump isn't the only one feeling the pressure to deliver.
The only opportunity that Trump can actually secure funding for the border wall is going to be before January hits, because come January, that's when Democrats are going to take over back the House and become in full control. So any opportunity of him getting any funding for the border wall, border security, is completely non-existent come January. So there's this very sense of urgency for something to get done now, because come January, no Democrat's going to sign on this. It's very important to note also that why Nancy Pelosi is very strong, and we saw on Tuesday when there was a meeting between President Donald Trump and Representative Nancy Pelosi and the Senator Charles Schumer, how she really stuck to the script of saying Democrats are not willing to compromise, is because people forget that she still needs to secure enough votes in the House Democratic Party in order for her to become House Speaker. So there's a lot of things at play.
Do you really think that a government shutdown is possible at this point in time?
A potential government shutdown is very possible. What we've seen these past few weeks is that Trump has kind of renewed his calls to Congress to appropriate more money for his border wall. But a lot of Democrats are not really relenting on this issue. And what we've seen earlier this week with the little debacle between Representative Nancy Pelosi and President Donald Trump is that they really come at this impasse where both sides are not willing to negotiate or compromise.
Border security is an important issue to many people. But as politics become more polarized here in the States, finding a middle ground can be difficult. And when neither side refuses to budge, the result is no resolution. Trump says a wall will be built no matter what. But making that a reality in 2019 will be very, very difficult. Well, that's all the time we have for today in DC Direct, but please be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at TRT World. And reach out to us with the hashtag DC Direct and let us know what you think about the U.S.'s approach to border security. Until next time, I'm Lionel Donovan.